Hello and welcome to Eerie Earth. I'm your host Kieran. Thank you for joining. In this podcast, I take you on a journey through the paranormal, where we talk about all things creepy, from ghosts, cryptids, and much more. So sit back, relax, and join me as we explore this eerie earth. In this episode, I want to talk to you about the most infamous haunting in history. It's not a derelict haunted house where spectres patrol the crumbling corridors, or an asylum where the cries of patients echo through the darkness, but a doll. Not a creepy porcelain doll with cracks on its face. Cracks where some would imagine would lead to the deepest, darkest depths of hell, but a sweet, innocent Raggedy Ann doll. A doll so evil that it's said to have caused fires to break out without reason, and even caused the death to unsuspecting visitors who gaze into her unwavering eyes. This is the story of Annabelle, the most haunted doll in history. The case of the Annabelle haunting dates back to 1970, when two student nurses acquired the innocent plaything. Donna and Angie were student nurses living in the shared apartment together, and Donna's mother innocently gave her a Raggedy Ann doll as a present. At first, Donna loved the doll with its summery dress and its orange woolen hair, triangular nose and large, bright, welcoming eyes. But this doll would prove to be a lot more troublesome than its peaceful, gentle look. At first it started small. The doll would move slightly, with its hands moving ever so slightly to falling forwards. But it would progress to the doll even standing up with no support, appearing in different parts of the apartment from where the nurses left the doll. It would appear in different rooms where the door was closed, and at times even locked. Then came the voices. A small voice of a young girl coming from the inanimate object. The voice would say quintessentially creepy phrases like, "Hello, help us," and even go as far as saying, "Help Lou," who was Donna's boyfriend, who the doll had said it didn't like. This terrified the nurses quite understandably, but then they started to notice handwritten notes appearing all around the apartment, handwritten in crayon which they didn't have in the apartment. It looked as if a child had written them. The note said things like, "Hello, play with me," and even, "My name is Annabelle." After some research into the name Annabelle, the nurses learned about a young girl called Annabelle Higgins who had died near the apartment block, and it seemed that the spirit of the girl was attached to the doll and had taken a liking to the girls, but not to Donna's boyfriend, who Annabelle felt was getting in between her and Donna. Lou contacted Donna, claiming to have had vivid nightmares where the doll would crawl into his room, climb the bed and crawl his body, leaving him with deep bloody scratches all over his body, and it terrified him. At the end of their tether, the nurses held a seance to try and contact the girl who had been taken up residence inside of the doll. They contacted a medium to confirm their suspicions that a young girl called Annabelle Higgins had in fact possessed the doll, and she said that she liked the woman, wanted to stay with them, to which the nurses agreed provided she stopped scaring them. The spirit agreed, and things seemed to slow down. Things started up again, and they contacted the medium again, who stated that the spirit was not a girl, but the doll was possessed by a demon, mimicking the girl, and that they were in danger. So put them in touch with the famed and somewhat infamous investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren, who confirmed the medium's suspicions and agreed to take the doll from the nurses and placed her in their occult museum. Placed the doll in a glass case with a paper sign reading, "Warning, positively do not open." The Warrens claimed that the doll was so evil even if people looked into her eyes, it would cause horrible things to happen. Over the years, people would visit the museum, gaze upon the doll, and would then be involved in traffic collisions resulting in loss of life. Many believe it was the curse of the doll that caused it. The doll blew up in popularity when the Conjuring movies were made, making Annabelle the main character, but they portrayed her as a rotting porcelain doll, which was far creepier than the original Raggedy Ann doll. When the popularity of the movies, the fear of Annabelle grew and grew. In recent histories, the Warren Museum was passed down to their son-in-law, who then ran the museum, and many YouTubers went to visit the museum to conduct investigations there, and claimed all manner of odd occurrences, which were all blown way out of proportion. However, Annabelle recently went on tour, and that's right, They took the doll around America so more and more people could gaze upon the cursed doll. Some claimed that she caused a historical plantation house to burn down, and even the son-in-law of the Warrens recently passed away while on tour, with many believing it was Annabelle that caused it to happen. With the popularity of Annabelle, many people claimed to have haunted dolls, with the likes of Robert the Doll being just as evil as Annabelle, and there was a huge influx in haunted dolls appearing on eBay for people to buy. Some even believe that the movie Child's Play was inspired by the events of Annabelle, with serial killer Charles Lee Ray using voodoo to possess a child's doll, creating Chucky, one of the most famous slasher horror characters in movie history. I will leave it up to you to decide whether you think Annabelle the doll is really haunted, but I know one thing. I would love to have an opportunity to be alone in the room with Annabelle to see if she was really as haunted as they make out. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Eerie Earth Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider following us on Spotify and leaving a 5-star review. This helps us get noticed. Follow us on Instagram at Eerie Earth Official and subscribe to us on YouTube at Eerie Earth Official. This episode of Eerie Earth was brought to you by Eerie Earth Tours, a 5-star rated ghost tour company in one of the most haunted cities in the world, Edinburgh. Book on a tour with us today. Thanks again for listening, and as always, bye-bye for now.